mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, SHAYLENE. We will begin with Dermot. Dermot, what is SHAYLENE to you?
This is SHAYLENE, and I asked SHAYLENE out 156 times.
Mel, how do you know SHAYLENE?
This is SHAYLENE. When we were kids, I cut her hair to plump up the stuffing in my teddy bear.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Finally, David
I want
Mitchell.
that to be true. I want that to be
that's
true.
amazing.
How do you know SHAYLENE, David?
This is SHAYLENE. She is the swimming pool lifeguard who talked me into letting go of the diving board I was clinging to after I panicked mid-boing.
Mid-boing. Okay.
So, there we have it. It's, is it Dermot's romance rejector, Mel's teddy stuffing supplier, or David's diving board saviour? Lee, where do you want to start?
Wow, where do we start with that one? Dermot.
I'm sorry, but if I just look at her and do a quick glance, she does not look like a lifeguard, but she does look more like a librarian type, or maybe an office type. Like, she's Pam in The Office, the receptionist. I don't know, but she doesn't strike me as lifeguard.
When was this?
I would have been probably 14, and SHAYLENE was a year younger than me.
How did you do it? Was it all face to face?
Yep.
As opposed to what?
We went to...
He was 14.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Do you know, before...
No.
It's all different.
Did you
in the old days, what we used to do is just press our faces against the bathroom window and shout.
Well, you're mega old, Lee. Back in my olden days, it was notes. So, okay.
Dermot, just to be clear, how many times did you ask her out?
156.
In how many sittings?
Probably over the course of about 18 months.
18 months.
Why did you count them?
That's a good question.
Because...
It takes 156 times for him to know she's not interested.
Right.
After a while, it became, I suppose, like almost like a rite of passage. SHAYLENE lived in a different village to the village I grew up in.
Which village was this?
I grew up in a village called Marks Tay, and SHAYLENE lived in Great Tay. Normally...
Where was this? Mordor?
and SHAYLENE went to the same youth club as me.
Youth club? Let's get in more rock and roll, this story.
SHAYLENE was the only girl in the village who had black hair, and...
Have you looked to your left? At least make this realistic.
She had black hair, jet black hair, all in kind of a lovely sort of 80s Madonna-style quiff.
So the first time you asked her out, she said no. How long did you leave it till the second time?
The next week.
So it's every week you were doing it?
Yeah.
Every week, 156 weeks, 18
sometimes
months.
twice
That
a
adds
week.
up.
Sometimes twice a week.
Rob's thinking it does, but it doesn't.
Sometimes like twice a week, sometimes twice in the same night. Oh, go on, go out.
So when it got to 100, did you not think, probably not going to happen?
100.
Keep batting.
Lee, who else would you like to quiz?
Who should we go with next? Mel. OK, so how old were you?
When the haircutting happened.
Yes, obviously, I don't mean...
Oh, sorry.
No, how old were you on your 12th birthday?
So, SHAYLENE's older sister, Charlotte, is a good friend of mine.
SHAYLENE and Charlotte?
Yes.
One of my absolute favorite things ever. Oh, this is a whole story. I used to be really into the UFC and the fighters and this and that, and I just got into a lot of them. Then the UFC changed, and most of the best fighters just either retired or left or had to leave or got suspended or whatever. So I just stopped watching. But there was several years where I was really into it, and there was this guy. Can never remember the name, but there was this guy that had a whole channel that he would make animated videos about the fighters because he could imitate almost all their voices and do a really, really, really good job. So he got someone to like animate, just putting them in very weird and silly scenarios and stuff. And again, some of the voices were just spot on, amazing. And I don't know how it came. I think it was because Anderson Silva used to train with Steven Seagal, or how Steven Seagal got even on like this guy's just part of the animations and stuff, and he would always make fun of Steven Seagal. And there was one time, and obviously the character of Steven was always like just being extremely into himself and just lying about everything and just making up stuff like he's the best and he taught Anderson this and he taught Anderson that and whatever. And he would do the deep voice and stuff and the slow pauses and all that. And there's one line that just stuck with me forever because it's hilarious. And he said, even like in the voice, and it's just too funny. He was talking about there was like a party and stuff, and he was talking about how amazing he is, obviously, and how macho he is. And part of being how macho he is, he said, I was built in a log cabin that I built with my own 2 hands. And that's just too freaking funny, dude. That always got me, dude, because it's just hilarious. And I don't even remember what provoked that, but something did. Oh, how old are you when you were 12? I don't know why that kind of just came to mind. Because I said 7, and I was thinking about something like, I was so mature at your age that I turned 13 when I turned 5. Like something like that. I don't know, people. I just bear with me. I don't know. But whatever. I had a good time, so never mind.
Older sister Charlotte.
Whoa, what? What?
So, Shaylene's older sister Charlotte is a good friend of mine.
Shaylene and Charlotte?
Yes, Shaylene and Charlotte.
Who was her dad? Sean Connery?
Shaylene and Charlotte came over to ours to do a sleepover. We had a bunk bed, and I wanted her to sleep on the top bunk.
Yeah, this is the bit, you see.
Because we had a game in our house whereby if you slept on the top bunk, you had to drape your hair over the side of the
like
bunk.
Rapunzel.
Say what, Dermot? I'm glad you didn't go back to hers now. He says, no problem, hers too short. She went, don't worry, use something else. Go on.
I had a secret plan with Shaylene. I wanted her to fall asleep on the top bunk so that I could cut her beautiful hair.
Now,
I didn't cut that much.
Right. How much did you cut? That's
2 inches.
a lot of hair.
So having cut this hair off,
Yes.
what did you do with it?
So I had this lovely, beloved teddy bear patch and had a bit of a hole in it.
What?
I remember exactly where.
Where?
Shoulder down to mid-arm.
How did the hole start? Did you make the hole?
Just love. Just love.
Is that what you call love? Ripping off a man's arm?
Right?
Dermot.
What about David?
David, remind us again of this utter truth.
Shaylene is the swimming pool lifeguard who taught me down when I was clasping onto a diving board.
Were you actually hanging off it?
Yeah, I had like my arms around it like that, and it was at head height.
But how did you get to that position?
I was considering jumping off the diving board, and I remained indecisive too long in the process.
And at the last minute you went but panicked and stopped.
Exactly.
And of course,
and I sort of
you weren't
slid off it and grabbed it and then was left there dangling.
And had you gone to the pool specifically to dive, or had you gone with a bunch of mates and you were larking around, bombing, heavy petting, all the things that we're not supposed to do? But if I know you, the rebel that you are, you'd have been doing them.
It was one of my regular late-night music parties in the municipal baths.
There you go.
How old were you?
It was recently. It was... recently. It was just about an hour ago. No, it was last autumn.
I'd have thought if David Mitchell had been hanging off a diving board, someone would have taken a photo and tweeted that.
I don't think you're allowed to have your mobile phones in swimming pools.
Come the advent of the aquaphone, my water sports days are over.
There you go.
Have you ever dived in off a diving board head first at that point?
No, and I certainly wasn't planning on doing this head first.
Oh, you were going to go feet first?
Absolutely.
And so you jumped... You started...
I was thinking of this programme, and I thought, well, I can lose up to about there and it'll be fine.
There you go.
You know, they could prop the remnant on a bar stool and I can still do the job. So I thought, I'll go in with the non-panel show end first.
As you've leapt off, at that point you think, I'm going in, change your mind, spin in the air, grab the board and land and just do that. Because I think that's a 10. I think it's a 10.
Right?
It was the moment of indecision
That made you stumble.
changed how I mean, I can't entirely.
Did you...
It's bizarre considering it happened to me.
Of course.
I can't entirely visualise it.
So, what are you thinking, Lee?
I want to know exactly how Shaylene talked down David.
She said, "Are you all right?" Which, you know, wasn't the best question in the world, but...
She's clearly trained.
Yes.
What did you say?
I think I said something like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I slipped."
Sorry, I slipped. 1 minute you're panicking, and then sorry, I slipped. Even in near-death situations, you're middle class. Sorry, I slipped, my dear.
I didn't say...
Did you fetch my cravat? It appears to have wafted away.
I didn't say sorry I slipped in a suave tone. But I did say sorry because it's very deeply ingrained in me to apologise at almost any occasion.
So how did you say it then, if you didn't say it in a suave
Sorry
way?
I slipped! Sorry I slipped!
Like that? You were quite panicked.
I was quite panicked.
What happened then? What did she say?
She said, "It's all right, stay calm. Too late." I screamed.
Where is she? She's on the floor, is she on up top?
She has got on the diving board.
Well, she's up there
Give it
with
a
you.
little wobble, yeah? She's giving it a little wobble.
She's not got to the boingy end. She's
Do you mind if I have a little skip whilst we're doing this?
It was only after a few minutes had passed that she threatened to boing me off.
Wow! I'll tell you what, these municipal swimming pools... Do you know what? I would say that constitutes hanging petting.
You were hanging on for a few minutes.
No, not really for a few. I think for about 4 or 5 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes?
That's an eternity.
Eagle-eyed lifeguard.
She just...
Oh, I wish I could use me whistle. How did she make you go from I don't want to let go to let go? What kind of words did she use?
It's okay, just drop in. You know, promise you won't
Just
hit
drop
the bottom.
in! I'm around 3 o'clock till 6 on Thursday.
She just
Do you
said,
have Earl Grey ice cream?
"Feel free to drop in anytime you like."
Go on. Yeah, so go on.
You know,
Oh my
So
God.
you're hanging up. What did she say to make you let go?
I think it's fine, you won't hurt yourself. She said, "This happens a lot." So if you'd come in here half an hour earlier, there'd been 3 of you on 3 of the boards. You've only just cleared the last backlog.
OK, so Lee, we need an answer. Is Shaylene Dermot's romance rejecter, Mel's teddy stuffing supplier, or David's diving board saviour? What do you think?
David
What do they think?
has no idea. Had to hang on to something for 4 or 5 minutes.
That's a long...
That is
That's a long time to
long
hang on.
time.
You couldn't hang on that long.
Dermot said she had black hair.
156.
That's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot, and it's a very specific
Yeah, it's
number.
too precise.
I think Mel.
It's got to be Mel.
You
Mel
think
had
Mel?
emotion and feeling.
You say Mel?
I would go
say
Mel.
Mel.
I'll go with the team and say Mel.
You're all in agreement? OK.
Okay. See, I'm with them. Okay, obviously, David, no. The 156 is too specific. I can believe a boy would ask way too many times. Been there, done that, had that happen way too many times. But the fact that he counted and also 156 is like, whoa, a lot. Now, Mel's story just sounds stupid, which makes me feel like it could be true. Because the whole part of the game, when you're on the top bunk and have your head fall over and whatever. That was weird to me because, there's like a game in my family that whoever sleeps in the top bunk, in my family, they had bunk beds for my two brothers, and they were each assigned a bed, so they wouldn't switch or anything. And also, why do they have bunk beds if they're not filled? Like, who was the other bed for? Like, I'm confused. There's a lot of, unanswered questions here, and also, it bothers me that she was questioned very little. They focused entirely on making David Mitchell just come up with hilarious lies instead of actually getting to the bottom of the truth or whatever. The bottom of the truth. As if the truths have bottoms. But, there's so many questions. Did she find out that you cut her hair? Was she asleep? Did she wake up? Did you... They were talking about stuffing the teddy bear, and they just kind of cut it off. The editor just kind of said, all right, that's enough of that, and they went on to something else. But there were, so many unanswered questions. But as a whole, what I have to choose from all my options... I'm going with Mel because it's the one that sounds like could be the truest. Again, the guy's story, whatever his name is, I don't remember. It could totally be true, but the number is just like, whoa, dude, calm down. The black hair is believable. I mean, women dye their hair all the time, but
Hey, Shailene.
My point being, I'm going with Mel.
Please reveal your true identity.
Hi, I'm Shailene, and Dermot asked me out 156 times.
Wow. He's proud of that, too. What the hell?
Thank you, Shailene. Thank you very much.
I almost had a nice score.